Begin! 3 points. Winner! There you go.
Did you teach him that?
I think, first of all, the thing that we really aspire to constantly is quality.
April 7th was like any other cringe-filled day on Twitter, watching the world burn as woke scolds would ask for context when it came to minorities committing vicious crimes, while also advocating for the death of YouTubers and J.K. Rowling. Hot off the heels of Disney firing Victoria Alonso, a few people dared to dream the impossible dream of Kathleen Kennedy getting the boot and Star Wars somehow rebounding. Doomcock was praying to a shrine of George Lucas, but his prayers would receive no remuneration. I knew this wasn't in the cards. Something good happening in the 2020s feels almost impossible, unless you're Mr. Beast. For the rest of us, the 2020s are an absolute slog.
New World Order, oy vey, oy vey.
To the promise of a new Jedi Order, and I'm attracted to the idea of immersing myself in a Jedi Academy with a powerful Jedi Master. Who would like to meet the Jedi Master? Come on, make some more noise. Okay, come on out.
Whoa! Whoa!
Gay. To the horror and dismay of Star Wars fans everywhere that were over the age of 20, another Star Wars movie starring Rey was in the works. Suddenly, a million voices cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. Daisy Ridley returning to Star Wars isn't really a shocker, even after she said she didn't want to play Rey after The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. But her tune soon changed. From Star Wars ruined my life to I'm open to more Star Wars movies. Integrity lasts only as long as your bank account does.
Thank you, Kathy, Charmaine, for having me back. I'm very thrilled to be continuing this journey.
Money, please.
By the way, this video is sponsored by Ekster. This is officially my new favorite wallet brand, Ekster. They're the world's largest small wallet brand, designing innovative solutions to improve the way you carry your everyday item. Removing cards from my Ekster wallet is as simple as a push of a button. It also comes with a tracker that you can use with an app to track your wallet just in case you lose it or it's stolen. Your wallet is trackable worldwide, so you really don't have to worry about losing it. Kind of crazy. If you've lost your wallet, you can call it. It works with Google Home, Alexa, and Siri. Did I also mention that the tracker itself is solar powered? 2 hours of sunlight gives you up to 3 months of a charge. Wild. Not a fan of the metal wallets? Well, Ekster has you covered with premium leather variants. All of the leather is sourced from WLG Gold rated tanners, and I dare say it's quite elegant. These small form factor wallets completely replace the wallets of yesteryear that your father used to have. Before I forget, it also has RFID protection. Your money, your cards, and your identity are safer than ever before with the Ekster wallet because it protects you from skimming. Go to shop.ekster.com/itsagundam to save 25% on the Ekster anniversary sale, or click the link in the description and use the code IT'SAGUNDAM at checkout. For the last few years after The Rise of Skywalker, Daisy Ridley was saying that she couldn't get work. It stems from 2 things. Number 1, Daisy's career before Star Wars was tenuous at best. From odd commercials and weird interactive videos about dudes having heart attacks.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, are you okay? Hello, are you okay?
The world's greatest actor, Master Thespian.
And also being on the TV show The Toast of London from 2013, having a 5-second role that nobody remembers. Let's face it, she was not burning up the world with her acting talent. But she can cry on command. Number 2, the new trilogy of Star Wars was an absolute clusterfuck of no one knowing what they were doing. From Jar Jar Abrams to Rian Johnson, back to Jar Jar. It was like a group project of two Down syndrome kids trying to color within the lines. And let's face it, if someone else didn't do it, J.J. Abrams has no ideas. Number 3, nobody else will hire her. That's why she's coming back to Star Wars.
Boom. Roasted.
Adam Driver had enough brains to distance himself from Star Wars. He did it so fast, even Harrison Ford was like, "God damn, pump your brakes, kid." But then again, the crap Adam Driver had to deal with, those Raylo Twitter fans that were stalking his wife and threatening to kill her so he could be with Daisy Ridley. Like, the Star Wars fan base, the new one, is actually kind of tweaked in the head. They're weird little sycophants. Literal vampire pot-belly goblins are hopping around and coming after us. But I swear to God, the only Star Wars fans everybody says are toxic are the ones that actually know something about Star Wars. They're the bad ones. God, I hate this timeline. Well, anyway, Rey returns as a Jedi Master, rebuilding the Jedi Order. Basically, Kathleen Kennedy remembered all of those comic books and novels that didn't exist before to rip EU storylines and put a female character in as a placeholder instead of Luke.
Lucasfilm's president, Kathleen Kennedy, stated that Star Wars sequels trilogy films are incredibly difficult to make because they don't have source material. Every one of these movies is a particularly hard nut to crack. There's no source material. We don't have comic books. We don't have 800-page novels. We don't have anything other than passionate storytellers.
Bullshit! Art test!
Rey is now getting Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order arc. Yum yum! I can't wait for it. Oh my God, I hate this job. Once again, Kathleen Kennedy takes a hot steaming piss on the Star Wars fan base that existed before Disney's Star Wars run. And I'm trying like hell not to be salty about it. But Disney killed off the entire EU when they bought it, so they could make their own canon because their ideas were so scary great. Literally, there was no plan for the new trilogy. So they screw up, obviously. Then they turn around and steal ideas from the EU that they wrote off that they didn't need. Oh my God, you could get an aneurysm being a Star Wars fan. Unless you're Eric Butts, then everything's great. Star Wars Celebration was going on, bet you didn't know. Well, I had to watch it, so now you do too. Well, anyway, they dropped the new Ahsoka trailer, and basically, Ahsoka gets Luke Skywalker's heir to the Empire storyline. Everybody clap! Brave, stunning. There's this good Luke Skywalker story. What if, call me crazy, it was a woman instead of Luke? Oh my God, we finally brought gender parity to the Force. You couldn't let Mark Hamill go out on top. I don't even like Mark Hamill. All right, I don't. I find him to be hyper left-leaning to the point of where it's clownish. But Jesus Christ, could you give Luke the good send-off? I was surprised when it seemed like they actually had a clear direction with the Ahsoka trailer, till I saw Script Trooper's tweet. Then it hit me like a tax bill bonking DSP over the head.
So Rey gets Luke's Jedi Order arc, and Ahsoka gets Luke's heir to the Empire arc, with Filoni's Rebels characters shoehorned in. Almost like their movie sucked, and now they're realizing they need to take ideas they rejected in the first place. And they hate the original trilogy. They also gave Kyle Katarn's Dark Forces arc to the Rogue One and Rebels crew, and the Dark Troopers to the Mandalorian. They've been copying from the EU super hard while trying to cover it up. Nothing is new here. Rebels started with Thrawn. I like Rebels, but even I was acknowledging that it was a bad idea to have Thrawn in it. And then we got Mandalorian, which straight up copied the Crate Dragon mission from Knights of the Old Republic.
As in all things Celebration, Disney and Kennedy hyped up shows that will live to leave a bad taste in our mouths. Like Kenobi did. By the way, Ewan McGregor is begging for a season 2. By hinting at, he's begging. He's sitting there, it's like DSP. I hate to use two DSP analogies in once, but it's like when DSP is like, hey guys, there's no tips on the board, tomorrow's my day off. Ewan McGregor's like doing the same thing, putting out these little statements like, I don't know, maybe the people want to see more Obi-Wan for season 2. And it's like, actually, we don't. Nothing personal, but go for yourself. I'm not even kidding. Oh, that felt good to say out loud. Kenobi was such a stain on the wall of creativity, most people avoided watching Andor, which I heard was surprisingly good, but few people were willing to give it a chance, because Star Wars fatigue. But that wasn't all. We got treated to the new cast of the Acolyte. People that don't care about Star Wars hire people to act in shows that have no idea what Star Wars is even about.
Talk about an entrance! That was a catwalk. That was fashion show worthy.
Yeah, I just try to treat everything as if we're on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Most of you watching are gonna go, the f is that? That's what you deserve. This is who I am.
Wookiee Jedi.
I did. I did get brought on stage by a character I created, Wookiee Jedi Master named Kelnaka, played by Jonas.
Ah yes, Jedi Wookiees, because that didn't exist before you guys, I'm sure.
Battle for power. I mean, the best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. It depends on what side you're standing on, truly. You know what I mean?
He had no stake in. The ancient Sith wanted the emotionally unstable, and they encouraged competition and even murder to weed out the weak. They would often recruit children, but had no issue training adults. A Sith's power comes from giving into and building off of their negative emotions. So the
best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. It depends on what side you're standing on, truly. You know what I mean?
They also hire people that are more concerned with gender politics than being able to tell me what the new show is all about.
Let me try to talk about this without getting fired or murdered. So my character, you know, she's a powerful leader. She's a powerful leader. Yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I was very excited to kind of be in that, because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
Shut up, silly woman.
Yes, Star Wars is patriarchal and needed more female energies. Star Wars is headed by a woman who hires women like Leslie Headland. And I can tell you this, if I was Harvey Weinstein's assistant for years, I probably wouldn't be getting to direct Star Wars shows. I'd be looking at a cell. And Sharmeen Obaid, whose director credits are a hair better than mine, and they focus heavily on gender politics. Ah, the Force is female. Anyone remember that one? The face of the last Star Wars movie was Rey, despite the fan backlash. My God, how is a woman expected to succeed in Star Wars with all of these female-focused opportunities? Damn the patriarchy.
James Mangold will direct Star Wars film titled Dawn of the Jedi, which will be about the origins of the first Jedi. It's described as a biblical epic. The first woman of color to direct a Star Wars movie. Powerful. Thank you, Kathleen Kennedy. Sharmeen to become the first person of color to direct a Star Wars movie. Lucasfilms announces 3 new Star Wars films. Daisy Ridley will return as Rey. What an absolute treat. I think I'll drown myself later.
Have you seen the writer's room for the High Republic? It looked like a made-up group for a queer in San Francisco. And the ideas they had for their vision board were so gay they made James Charles homophobic for an entire afternoon. The ideas they had were so gay, they made Sam Smith seem butch. George Lucas did state that Star Wars is about fathers and sons in an interview he did back in May of 2016. But that doesn't mean Star Wars was patriarchal at all. In fact, I feel like this woman's just saying a buzzword to seem more important than she is, or to make it seem like there was some sort of barrier for entry before that didn't exist, ever.
I Am Your Father. Star Wars is an eternal tale of parental love and redemption for both George Lucas and Anakin Skywalker. One of the things that Star Wars is most deeply about is fathers and sons, redemption. In its own way, it points to the indispensability of parental love. And it has a lot to say about the lengths of which people, boys or girls, will go to get it. In the first Star Wars trilogy, Lucas was able to get quite primal about fathers and sons. And while his tale speaks to everyone, he's given some personal hints as to why. His relationship with his own father, George Sr., was troubled in some ways, even tortured. It contained disappointment and mandates and prohibitions. As one of Lucas's interviews had noted, George Sr. was known as a domineering ultra-right-wing businessman, and those who knew Lucas have always insisted that the tortured relationship between Darth and Luke springs in many ways from Luke's relationship with his own father. George Lucas's father urged him to abandon his dream of being a director and join him in the family business. My father wanted me to go into the stationery business and run the office equipment store.
Yes, this is patriarchal. It's a story about fathers and sons. God forbid young boys have any shows or movies that show men in a positive light, overcoming and reconnecting with their alienating and domineering fathers. That's too toxic. Masculinity is toxic. Now take your HRT medicine, Stewie. See, this is the issue with Western women. They can be given opportunities to do anything, and still, they act like they're oppressed. I may be the CEO, but there is more work to be done. Yeah, run the company into the ground, baby. There was 5 days of cringe to unfold, such as this.
It's okay. Earlier this year, fans finally got a glimpse at how gritty and dark Star Wars can truly be with the Disney Plus series Andor. Now, the cast and crew are looking back at how they crafted this story, characters and worlds that sparked a rebellion. And while there weren't any cameos from RX droids, like Gil, I can let this oversight slide. So long as we get one in season 2, right? All right. Well done. All right. Let's roll the panel.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
And of course, Emperor Palpatine came out to speak. I mean Kathleen Kennedy. This woman is so far out of touch, she makes Dark Brandon seem like he's on the ball.
Did you guys watch some of the Ahsoka panel? Cool, huh? Great reveal, great reveal.
The dislike ratio on almost every video is terrible.
And it has meaning. That was the thing that George said to me over and over again, is whatever you do, make sure it has meaning. And I think that's what resonates with so many of us who love Star Wars, is it makes you feel something. And that's what we try to do with every single story we tell, is we're just trying to create characters that people can relate to and you have some connection to.
Star Wars characters that are relatable. Really, Kathleen Kennedy? My left nut. It's obvious the audience out here cheering for this were hand-picked corporate Star Wars fans. The type of people that watch trailers and cry uncontrollably, like Eric Butts. These are the type of people that pretend everything going on in Star Wars isn't raw dog shit. Anywhere else, Kathleen Kennedy would be booed off stage, much like the governor of New York. Oh, the entire stadium booed that bitch, and she deserved it.
We'd like to salute Governor Kathy Hochul, the first female governor of New York State. Governor Hochul began...
The creative bankrupt people at Lucasfilms will be sure to steal ideas from the extended universe and pretend they're all new, while also gender swapping or race swapping characters. Don't worry, there will be more female-driven stories because Kathleen Kennedy is bringing balance to the Force. That's been Kennedy's agenda from day one. Somehow, with all of this brand damage and all the clear signs that people are sick of Star Wars, even The Mandalorian is choking to death on its own Baby Yoda flavored pixie sticks. They just keep pumping garbage out. It's clear as day to anyone. Star Wars fatigue is real and it's crippling. They even closed down the Star Wars themed park. The cruise has been looking like an absolute dumpster fire ever since it was shown off. We're now at the point, dude, where literally the only thing that doesn't look like total trash from Star Wars is the new EA game. Something I thought I'd never say, ever in my life, that EA was doing something right. Isn't it weird when you really think about it? Women being put in charge of intellectual properties that they didn't create always get run into the ground every single time.
It is crazy. We say to give a woman power is like to give a gun to a monkey. We have stopped doing that ever since the 1999 Astana Zoo massacre.